I understand it. You're confused, you're overwhelmed. This is the Dubai market for you. But what if I was to tell you it's actually not that confusing? And in this video, I'm going to tell you why you're confused. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to teach you how to overcome that confusion. So make sure you stay to the end and let's get into it. Okay, so the first point we're going to touch on is the overload of information. You know, time and time again, I have many people come to me and say, Joe, I've spoke to a few brokers, just putting the feelers out there, and I'm being sent a lot of different information and I don't know what's true. I don't know what a good project is. You know, people are telling me all of this information, can't really grasp who's telling me the truth, okay? So if you are facing this problem, an overload of information, don't worry, it's okay, because it's good to get information, all right? It's good to absorb it, because when you finally find the people that can educate you and give you factual information on the Dubai market, then you realize that actually a lot of it was a load of fluff, okay? So this is the first one. You're overloaded with information, all right? This might resonate with you. Too many options and misled with the wrong information. This is going to be a big one, okay? And I know for a fact you're facing it now. Too many options, especially if you've started searching anything to do with Dubai real estate. You're probably getting flooded with ads, you know, all these great looking brochures. You might reach out to a few people. You're getting calls all the time. One day you're getting sent, you know, great new project. The next day, you know, you're being told that it's sold out. So then you think for the next one, I need to be fast. I need to be this. The next one comes, it's the next biggest thing. And then the next one comes and it's the next biggest thing. And then constantly you're being told and fed all of this information and you're just thinking, there's so many options. Then you start to dig a little bit. It's probably why you ended up here on this YouTube channel, because you started to dig a little bit. You're trying to educate yourself, all right? And now you're just trying to find someone genuine to work with. And don't worry, I know, it's okay. As I said, in the end, we're going to go over it all. But then you're probably starting to think, well, am I being misled with the wrong information? There can be a lot of different information and like a lot of different and wrong information in many different ways. I'll give you two examples. One is being told, you know, and given unrealistic expectations on what's going to happen with the property you buy. So whether that's rental yield or capital appreciation, timelines, you know, maybe your expectations are not going to be met. And then also being misled with the wrong information regarding payment plans, you know, promises of units that you want to get. And I mean, there's going to be so many, you know, that fall into that category. But, you know, being misled with the wrong information and too many options, this really confuses the hell out of people. Okay, this brings me on to my next point, the lack of knowledge on future infrastructure. So when you're researching online, you're being told about all of this new infrastructure that you don't really know the inside scoop about, okay? For example, let's take Dubai South. Great region of Dubai. I believe there's going to be, you know, a huge future over there. But you need to understand, a lot of people are going on about the airport and they say this is the next biggest thing. But how many of you would live near an airport, okay? The next biggest airport in Dubai, all right? In the world even, all right? You want to live near an airport, the busiest airport in the world where there's tons of airplanes, you know, flying in there every day. You want to be below that? I wouldn't. Okay, from an investment point of view, it's good to be near it, but not under the flight path, okay? So if you're misled on the wrong information, okay, in the future infrastructure, if you're on a direct flight path, okay, when you're buying into this region, do you think somebody's going to want to live there long term when all is what you can hear all day is Airbuses and A380s landing? Come on, who would want that, all right? All that pollution and that noise, people wouldn't want that. Now, of course, that does not mean there's not going to be a huge benefit for surrounding communities in the Dubai South region. Just be smart and think about things like that, you know? And then also, you know, people don't understand the future infrastructure and the plans of certain locations. So if you're not knowledgeable on where the new metro stations are going to be and where the new public transport systems are going to be, and also road infrastructure, that's not always easy to find that kind of information without the right people, because it's quite confusing. But let's say an area outside of the city, we've got, you know, the entire districts of Damac Hills, Jumeirah Gulf Estates, JVC, Arjan, Tilal Al Gaf, all on this side of Dubai. There is a huge infrastructure shift that needs to happen. And now we are seeing, you know, tons of new roads being added, bridges and overpasses, because of the sheer demand of these locations, okay? And of course, that brings more traffic and it just eventually kills the area. So if you don't have a lack of knowledge and infrastructure, you might be missing out on good opportunity. That's a good one to think of. Misled on market trends and unrealistic plans. Now, misled on market trends are things like, let's talk about the casino in Ras Al Khaimah. All right. Fantastic. I think it's going to be a great opportunity. I think that whole Marjan Island, I'm very bullish on it. I think it's going to be something very unique. Doesn't exist in the Middle East right now. The fact that, they're allowing gambling to come here, and, with gambling comes, all types of, well, everything, partying, clubs, nightclubs, beach clubs, everything comes with that, and almost becoming a hotspot destination for the Middle East. So, you imagine if it's anything like, let's say, Las Vegas, or let's say Ibiza of the Europe, I know Ibiza is not an accurate comparable so much, but you know what I'm saying? It's a place where people will go in the Middle East for that purpose only, okay? Which is going to bring a ton of visitors. Now, that's great, but I've seen projects that are so priced out of the market, and the price point at which they're selling at, it really makes me question, will this have, the future growth what people are expecting, okay? And this is where I mean by unrealistic plans. When people say to me, they would say to you probably, right, this property on this island is priced at 3,500 dirhams per square foot, the same as what you'd get on Dubai Harbour right now near the marina. Okay, cool. Right now, this infrastructure does not exist. There is nothing there. There's a casino coming in 2027, and we are speculating that this many visitors are going to come here. Now, we're going to price it more expensive than an area that already exists, already has the residents, already has the visitors, and we're going to price it identically, okay? That's where I start to question certain things. Now, of course, it's all about getting in at the right price point from the right developer. If you're buying into a branded residence, which is super special, okay, then yes, you are going to be paying the premium for like Nobu residences, Four Seasons. I'm not saying these are all on the island, by the way, but just to give you an example, like the Baccarat, all of the, branded residences, like the Marriotts and stuff like that, okay? So it's just about being knowledgeable on these subjects to actually understand if you're being misled or not, or whether you're being told the truth, okay? And unrealistic plans also, sometimes I've seen brokers, okay, tell clients that, this is the payment plan you're going to get. And then when it comes to the launch date, all of a sudden the payment plan is completely different, all right? And this confuses the person, and it actually leads to like a bit of a lack of trust, right? So if someone tells you the payment plan is going to be this, okay, and this is what it's going to be when you get it, and it's going to be 50-50 or 40-60, or there's going to be a 2-year post handover. Now, if the broker actually says, I could be wrong, okay, but this is what I'm assuming, then that would not be a lie, that's telling you the truth that actually I may be wrong, okay? But when people say, no, this is it, this is going to happen, this is what I can do for you, I'm going to get you the best unit, and, it's going to face this, and I'm going to get you at this price point, and then all of a sudden it launches, and then you just told something completely different, and the broker tries to scramble around and pretend he didn't lie. That's where the unrealistic plans. Before we get into it, I hope you took something away from that, because I know that you may be feeling more than one of these points right now. And now we're going to get into the interesting part, how to overcome. Okay. How to overcome the confusion in the market. Number one and two work very hand in hand, but you need to define your goal. I know that might seem obvious, but you may have seen some videos and heard some great stories about certain people that have done certain things in the market, and now you want to become that next success story, and you may be fixed on your exact goal. For example, when people come to me and say, Joe, I want to buy off plan, I want to flip in 12 to 18 months. Okay, that's great. But that's not that easy anymore, okay? Because there are so many projects on the market. There is a bigger supply coming to the market, which is okay if you're buying from the right developer. But with a bigger supply means, a backlog of when these developers are able to complete. So let's say it's 2028, 2029, and you think you can, complete this and resell it in 12 to 18 months. This is where it starts to get a bit unrealistic, okay? So you have to think about it. And I think it's good. You don't need to know the exact goal. Like, you come to a call with me or my team, it's okay if you do not know the goal yet, but you need to have it in mind and have a little bit of flexibility in your mind as well. Because if you say to me, Joe, I want to flip. Okay, that's cool. I don't want to do anything else. I want to flip. That's fine. Then we flip. But if you're telling me that I only want to flip in between 6 and 12 and 18 months, but I only want to buy off plan, and I only want this, and I only want that, then we have to take a step back and we have to think, all right, okay, let's think about this a bit more practically, a bit more realistically. And this is where we come in and we actually educate you to define your goal. And then also you've got passive income. Do you want to create a passive income for the future? You know what we like to do here? We like to work backwards. So this is what you get when you work towards one-to-one. On the passive income, we kind of work with our clients and say, well, if you had a realistic price point or figure in your mind how much you'd want to earn per month passively, let's say $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month, let's work on this backwards. Okay, so let's actually reverse engineer this sum. Okay, and once we've reversed engineered this sum, we know that in the next 1 to 2 to 3 years, we can buy this, remortgage this, then buy this, then renovate this, and we can work backwards, okay? So this is another one, passive income on defining the goal, of course, all right? So realistic budget. A few things that you need to think about with this. With the realistic budget, let's say you do want to flip a property, okay? We talk about off-plan flips. Let's say you've set a budget for yourself, all right? And let's say it's 2 million or let's say 3 million dirhams, okay? Let's say the property's 3 million dirhams, it's on a 50-50 payment plan, all right? You know that over the next 3 years while it's being completed, you need to have 1.5 million dirhams to pay this property off. If you told me, Joe, I will only have 800K of that, there's no way I can get the 1.5 million, but I need to flip it, then I would tell you that this is not the right property for you, let's go for something cheaper. Many people wouldn't do that. They would say, yep, we can flip it because they want to take the higher commission, of course. I would never do that because then I'm responsible for you not being able to flip it, okay? And then potentially losing the unit. And I've seen that happen time and time again, and it really, really annoys me when people will push you to buy something you can't afford, okay? So that's why you need to set a realistic budget, okay? You need to plan, which is going to come here. Again, we're going to help you with the financial planning of this. We are not legally financial planners. I think that's what they say in these videos, don't they? But we are going to help you financially plan for these properties and make sure you can afford them. And then also timelines. You need to set the right timelines. So as I said to you as well, I like not just timelines for, there's a few different ways I like to use timelines. It's kind of like goals as well, right? It's like, what's your 2-year, what's your 5-year goal? You know, I like to tell somebody, well, if your goal is to make $20,000 in 5 years, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to work backwards. Same with a flipping off plan, all right? If you bought it now, then there's a good chance we can sell it in 2 years, okay? But let's set these timelines from the start. Now we're going to move on to get educated. This is where we are educating all of our clients, which you can see down below how we are doing that. Just book on a call. We like to educate before we sell. We don't like to sell first, we like to educate first, because I only want you to go into an investment with you feeling 100% confident. And we do that by offering you the access to see how we use data, how we look at trends, how we look at the future plans. And once you know all this, you will feel way more confident when we start offering developments out to you, all right? We don't just come out here and start sending you PDFs and say, look at that, what do you think? Do you want to buy it? You've got 10 minutes to decide, send us 500,000 dirham and we'll make sure you get one. No, we'd like to educate you first so that when it comes to execute, you are ready. But we missed out one bit here, preparing accordingly. That's just essentially us preparing everything that we've learned here. So defining a goal, figuring out the exact, all the details within that goal, then getting educated, looking at data, looking at trends, looking at future plans, then preparing for it accordingly. We know that you want to flip a property in 18 months, but we need to plan for that. We know how much your budget is, so forth. Okay, cool. Well, we know an area's got this much data and the trend is looking like this. We know the future plan is this. This is the property you want to buy. We're going to prepare for this. Do you want it or not? Yes? Cool. Execute. That's pretty straightforward. That's how we kind of work things over here. So I just wanted to make this video to give you an idea of how we work, how we like to work with our clients on a one-to-one basis and build you into our community and our network and educate you the best way possible before you make a decision so that you are 100% confident. We will never sell you anything unless you are totally confident. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.